AYA was a registered charity and a non-profit organisation, one of 48 UK youth associations affiliated to Youth Clubs UK, and worked alongside more than 95 local youth clubs.
Avon Youth Association is a charity that works with young people throughout the old county of Avon. Its aim is to help young people achieve their potential. In any one year, Avon Youth Association carries out more than 200 different projects. We cover all sort of 75 miles across the county and reach different forms of young people, from school to people who are in trouble, who need certain particular types of help.
AYA worked with young people in their own environment, so they were free to be creative and express themselves without fear of criticism. Our friendly environment helped them develop their life skills, team building and leadership skills, helped with their health issues, with their education, helping them find a job or career path, gave them access to useful information and to sport and competitions. Their social art and IT skills improved by taking part in AYA activities. It was not an organisation like the Scouts, which had a uniform and rules of conduct. It had no political or religious affiliations. In 1968, when I was 18, I became a DJ and played at my old school. I noticed a dramatic improvement in the young people's behaviour when I allowed them to participate with my sessions, allowing me to work closely with them. This made me want to become a youth worker to help young people achieve their potential by pointing them in the right direction, giving them useful goals in life and steering them away from a life of crime and antisocial behaviour. I went to De Montfort University in Leicester to do a youth work degree. Whilst doing my degree, I got involved with Leicester Youth Services and ended up managing 7 youth clubs. After leaving university, my first role was an executive one at Warwickshire in Kenilworth Youth Club. They had very few activities. The young people were not engaged, so I turned this around to include working 7 days a week on a wide range of practical projects. One of the major projects was an exchange program with a USA youth organisation in Kansas. They organised visits to New York and Washington, DC. We organised trips in the UK over a 4-year period. I got a big opportunity to work for Warwickshire Association of Youth Clubs, which was one of the 48 youth associations within the UK. I stayed there for 3 years before moving to AYA, based in Bristol. The association was good at giving advice to youth clubs, but gave no practical support like funding or help with activities or life skills. I turned this around by introducing plenty of activities to promote these. The association began to thrive. I was given the opportunity to move to Bristol and surrounding counties in the role of Executive Director for AYA. I saw this as an important way to use my skills to enhance the opportunities of the youth in the Avon area. They were similar to the Warwickshire Association before I arrived, therein that they gave little practical support to their youth clubs, and I knew I could transform the AYA in the same way. AYA worked with other charities. The charity FAB, Physically Handicapped and Able-Bodied, was an integral part of AYA. It helped the disabled become integrated within society. Spandex was a sign-making company that created software to help the severely handicapped communicate, similar to Stephen Hawking's speech devices. Thornbury Lions was a charity who helped with community projects like Sensory Garden. Young Farmers was a charity who do community services. C7 Self-Help Enterprises, helping older people to stay young and active for as long as possible. No, AYA had no projects, as they just gave advice to youth clubs with little practical advice. So the first project I set up was running a bus as a mobile youth centre. I got the idea to turn a youth club into a mobile one, to go to places that have no youth resources. This was true in the rundown inner city and in rural areas. I got the first and subsequent buses donated by First Bus and collected them from London. The buses were funded by donations from GWR, with support from J. Tidmarsh, who was the Lord Lieutenant of Bristol, giving the AYA royal connections.
I became involved with AYA as a result of the Youth Service Department, Bristol City Council, saying that they wanted to do something as far as young people were concerned and producing a shopping list of things that could be done. And one of the things on the shopping list was the bus, and the bus was the thing that attracted me most. So I managed to get hold of some money for the bus, and the Bristol City Council approached AYA and asked them if they would run it. The bus provides a lot of entertainment for a lot of youth that will have nothing else to do. The computers are there, the badge making equipment, the opportunity for them to have conversations and enjoy each other's company, coffee, there's tea. Couldn't be a better resource, could it? I brought a High Court judge to the bus. We were 3/4 of an hour late because I couldn't get him off the bus. He was so fascinated in meeting the people who were on it, listening to what they had to say. It was very interesting. I think that it's a pun when I say it, but it's a remarkable vehicle to help other people.
The AYA buses had their seats removed, allowing them to be used with a normal car driving licence. Worktop surfaces were installed with a seating area at the back for socialising. Up to 12 network computers with satellite internet, which later became 3G, 4G mobile, had games and educational programmes installed. Other facilities included music, DJ equipment, cooking facilities, arts and crafts, badge making and outside sports equipment. The computers were used for schoolwork, literacy courses, IT literacy, courses for young mothers and the young people.
There's simply no denying it, the computer is a vital and inseparable part of our lives nowadays. But not all of us are lucky enough to either have the computers or in fact the time to use them. Of course our kids know it all, don't they always, but it's the young mothers who often lose out. And that's why this bus is so important. This is hands-on IT. Beth Porter's in charge. Beth, what's going on here?
Well, Adrian, this is the very first session for young mothers in a 4-week course to introduce them to IT. And this is a project that was engendered by the Bristol City Council Women's Forum in conjunction and partnership with Avon Youth Association, which has the bus, and with BBC Bristol Online and yourselves. And it's a wonderful partnership to actually enable young women throughout Bristol to be empowered to deal with both their working and domestic lives.
For some of these mothers, it's just a case of keeping up with technology. Others want to bring their businesses up to speed.
I can put my payment books and things, my business work on the computer, and it will be a lot of time saving and easy for me.
But for a lot of women, it's very good if they want to study for a degree or for a course, or if they want to help their children with homework.
During the bus's stay in St Paul's, the nearby community centre Humder looks after the kids, while the mums learn the tricks. Teacher Beth Porter rules the bus with an iron mouse.
It's not just for kids and nerds. It is spreading rapidly throughout the whole of society. And why should young women be, and why should any women be disadvantaged?
The bus will visit any community in Bristol that's interested. The scheme runs until March next year. Adrian North-Phillips, BBC Points West in St Paul's.
Because of the great success of the youth buses, we had 12 AYA buses on the road and covering an area of 60 miles square, potentially reaching thousands of young people. It went to rundown inner city areas where many had racial tensions, financial difficulties and problem families. AYA ran the peer education project, which used music, ability, suffering, empathy and life skills for young women. First Gear was a project to teach pre-learner drivers and the disabled driving and car maintenance skills. There was an arts project aimed at girls and young women to improve confidence, art and social skills. There was a music project which included learning DJing, music mixing, recording, performing, rapping and MCing. A hands-on IT course for women and young mothers was a course run on the AYA buses. The IT Literacy Project was a project for young people using information technology for literacy improvement, benefiting those with learning and behavioural difficulties. The PC Restoration Project was a project for young people using old, restored, donated PCs that were distributed to affiliated youth clubs throughout Avon, benefiting clubs with no information technology facilities, and also to Gambia via the charity GAFSIP. Gambia and Avon Fire Services in partnership. The sensory garden was designed by Thornbury Lions and a young volunteer, Emily Colson. Trips abroad included the USA to enhance life skills and take them out of their comfort zone.
A team of 6 graduates from Rolls-Royce Bristol undertook a community project on behalf of 2 local charities, the Prince's Trust and the Avon Youth Association.
Well, here we are at Bamington. This is just one of the locations visited by the Avon Youth Association. The buses typically operate in areas where there's a lack of local facilities, such as youth clubs or public IT facilities. They're able to provide help and training and bring mobile facilities to where they're most needed on a regular basis.
As a charity, we have great difficulties in raising funds to provide projects like this, and what Rolls-Royce graduates have been able to do for us is take on the project in total and actually do the whole work themselves and take it from a bus that was not of any use at all into one that, as you will probably see, can cater for up to about 30-35 young people. It's a meeting place, and it goes into places where there aren't any resources, there is no guidance, no support for young people. And what we're able to offer them is educational opportunities through use of IT, but also the meeting place where we can develop their potential and help them achieve. But what it's also done for the charity is created partnerships, one with Rolls-Royce, but also with a bus company.
AYA had royal recognition. The various royal visits over the years were organised by one of our patrons of AYA and a committee member, J. Tidmarsh, Lord Lieutenant of Bristol. These visits included visits from Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, the Queen and Prince Philip. A select few from AYA were invited to Buckingham Palace at the invitation of the Queen, who annually invites members of charity organisations each year in July to Buckingham Palace. Those invited have done notable charity work that year.
The Princess Royal has been visiting a Bristol youth club on wheels today as part of her tour of the region. Princess Anne met teenagers who've benefited from the Avon Youth Association's youth buses. The buses are equipped with computers, sofas and arts and crafts materials and tour different parts of Bristol as travelling youth clubs.
The optimism was also evident when Princess Anne visited St Paul's today. She was in the city to see how activity buses are used by young and old.
We've got 6 buses, 2 buses dedicated for Bristol, working out on the streets 5 nights a week, working with young people that have no resources, nowhere to go.
AYA should not have folded, as it was tremendously successful at providing support and services to young people. In 2015, the government cut funding to all youth services within England. This was catastrophic for all the young people and the youth services, as all the existing services had to shut down. Once organisations close down, they are dissolved. The government did not think that youth centres and services were necessary, but since they were closed, crime rates have soared, boredom has increased, education has declined. Only one of the 48 youth associations in England is still running in Warwickshire, and that was 100% privately funded. It can only be resurrected now by someone with drive and vision and private backing by a big company like Amazon or Microsoft, or a rich individual like Elon Musk.
With lovers and friends, I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all.